opinionated, but we always throw in straight facts. This is Chaos, a K-pop podcast. I'm Danny. That's Lotus. Lotus, you say hello?
Hello.
And we've got another month of releases to discuss, specifically from August. Now, if you didn't notice, what I did there is I quoted Mark Lee from Canada, also from NCT.
Mark Lee from Canada.
And also NCT. And that's just to give you a little brain tickle of what's to come. If it had been an Everglow specific month, I could have said, well, shiver me timbers.
Yeah, revealing that we're not talking about Everglow because STAYC was whatever.
Yeah, STAYC was whatever. We'll get that out the way now.
Well, this was a whatever month is, I guess, what we should get out of the way first.
We did have a moment during planning of, oh.
You were about to have a crisis.
I was. Because this month had a lot of songs, and I listened to a lot of songs. But then I realized that nothing really released.
Right. A majority of them aren't bad, but they're not great. And so it's just like there's not that much to talk about compared to usual.
Yeah, and I think even with what we are going to talk about, let's just say this is a quick little end of summer episode, most likely.
Well, it's very, spoilers that we don't have the most complex of thoughts this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I also, I've had like a lot of desk work this month. And so I've listened to, I think, the most music. Like when I say I've listened to all the songs, I've also listened to like almost every album. If there was an album that released. Nothing.
Yeah. Not that B-sides are ever really indicative of anything. They're mostly just filler, but yeah, we're
It's so with that, let's just get right into it. XIKers came back with their second House of Tricky album.
The exasperation in your voice. Their second House of Tricky.
It's just okay, this one is House of Tricky, How to Play.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I think XIKers is kind of going for like a rough and rowdy sort of image. At least that's what I get from like their music and choreography. But there's something about House of Tricky, doorbell ringing, and then House of Tricky, How to Play.
Well, it's because the Konglish is very whimsical for House of Tricky.
You think so?
I think so.
Sure. Sure, I'm not gonna argue that, you know?
Like in English it sounds very like, woo, the House of Tricky.
In Korea, there's just a shit ton of syllables in there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But, you know, it's
they
a little goofy.
Control the branding. They
it's
can
a little
control
goofy,
the branding.
But that's fine. But XIKers released House of Tricky, How to Play. Kung was the... God, that's really hard to say.
It's hard to say without it actually becoming a slur in English, isn't it?
It sure is.
You just say Thunderstrike or something to avoid it.
So, that was their pre-release single, and then they released Do or Die and Homeboy, I believe in that order.
Yeah, Homeboy's technically the actual title.
That's the title. Got it. Okay. You wanted to talk about this a little bit, so I'll let you start.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is that last time we talked about XIKers, neither of us liked anything, I would say. Like,
no.
Didn't like the music video, didn't like the styling, didn't really, in particular, like any of the member performances. The name is obviously ridiculous. And now I'm like, okay, a group appears to be forming, outside of the overt, like, we're trying to do a branding thing of House of Tricky. Like, in the music videos, there's stuff like, Tricky Video Club, and it's like Blockbuster on the signs in the background. It's like, okay, we fucking get it. We get it. They're still sticking very hard to their KQ roots. When I saw Kung, yes. I was like, this is just a KQ fellas like song. It's a performance video and it's nice, and it's nice to see them perform as a group because they do appear to be really strong at it. yeah, overall, I'm like, I'm not in love, but they're bringing me
Yeah.
more to their side, you know?
Yeah, like it I think this group for a while is always going to sound like 80s in some aspects. But with like these two songs, it does feel a little bit more like music made for this group and not just a demo or a rejected song that KQ already had.
Yeah, exactly. They do still suffer from like, and at this point, I'm just willing to call that maybe just a weakness that KQ has. They do still have the 80s thing that I both joke about and complain about, where in early 80s, it was Hongjoong, Mingi, arguably Jongho, and then a bunch of backup dancers. Not that
Mm-hmm.
the members weren't talented, but they were never given an opportunity to shine in any video. And there's even a lot of songs where, like, objectively we know that Jongho is a great singer, but he'll have one high note and then, like, nothing else. And xikers still feels like that. I think Homeboy is my favorite of the three. Not only is it my type of thing, and they're all wearing blue and off-white outfits, which are my favorite colors, so naturally. But it also feels like all of the members exist in the song, which isn't quite the case for the others. Like
Yeah.
that song opens and I'm like, oh, they have singers in this group. I didn't know that.
That's the thing, too. With their first album, I don't know if I said this just like in our group chat or on the podcast, but I was firmly of the opinion that this group did not have singers in it.
Right, like it legally speaking had vocalists, but they couldn't sing, so they just didn't let them sing. But in Homeboy, you're like, oh no, they can sing. They can sing just fine.
No, this group has a normal group makeup.
Yes. It's just that you're only going to hear three people, which is with
It's not.
ATs, and they fixed it, but it took years for ATs to fix it. So you'd
Yes.
think they would recognize with xikers, like, there's no reason to make the same mistake twice unless you are one, incompetent, or two, there's something you know that we don't know about the group makeup. But there don't appear to be any weaknesses here.
No, I think we're leaning more towards incompetence masked as like
I
this is
think so,
this is
too.
how we like shit to be.
Right.
But you know, ATs it took like 3 years minimum. However old ATs is, that's how long it took for KQ to realize.
They got pretty far.
With xikers, it just took too many albums.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Homeboy being the official, like, lead title and having its own MV and everything, and being heavily promoted is hopefully a good sign for them.
Mm-hmm.
And for those singers. You know, get your check no matter what, but I have to imagine if you get all the way to being in a K-pop boy group, that you have to want to perform and have lines, you know?
I don't
There are
think we've
easier
hit
ways
a
to
point.
make money.
Yeah, I don't think we've hit a point where people are just in K-pop groups for the fun of it because there's not much fun.
Right, exactly.
Okay, better for xikers. I will say
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
there
read your
is
mind.
there is a member in this group.
Mm.
I've never had a member of a group stand out so shockingly from the rest. And that's I had to look it up. That's Jeon, who is a rapper and the youngest member in the group.
Mm-hmm. I knew you were gonna say this too.
The way he sounds is so crazy. And like not even
Yes.
it's not well, it's kind of bad, but like not
We-
even
we-
in a good or bad
We're on
sense.
the record saying that it was bad in the previous House of Tricky single. I can't remember what it's called anymore. The one on the train, and we
Tricky
said,
House.
they're all Tricky House.
But is that not the song?
Is it?
Is it not? Because they say "Welcome to Tricky House" or something Tricky House in it multiple times. It's called Tricky House.
Is it just called Tricky House?
It's called Tricky House in English. The Korean is Goblin House.
Oh, that's right. But
Okay.
anyways, we did like how he sounded on that song, but part of that is because he was offbeat for like alternating parts of it, but not
Yes.
syncopated. Offbeat.
Just offbeat.
We really have to make the point there that it's not that we just don't know what syncopation is. He is offbeat.
Mm-hmm. This time
Isn't offbeat in this. His voice is just like wild. Like even when you're talking about someone like like someone like G-Dragon, when they're like actively like
Uh-huh.
doing a voice, like are not capable of doing what Yechan appears to be doing casually.
Casually, like this is what we're going to get every time.
And I don't think it's a bad thing, actually,
I
even though
don't.
it's a jarring sound, but I don't think that it's a
Yes.
bad thing. It's kind of like, you didn't like this, but what I talked about before with Giddle is that if you naturally have a voice that's wild as fuck, you should embrace it and go for it. And so it's nice to hear him on Do or Die, which is like a really punky track, and like he fits perfectly in that song.
In
But
that
then
song.
again, it kind of goes back to my complaint, which is that he's one of the main rappers, and it's clear, like, he's the Hongjung of this group. He's not the leader, obviously, but in terms of his position in a song and the amount of time he takes up with his rap and how much he stands out, he's the Hongjung of this group. And he like dominates that song because no one else really thrives on that track.
Yeah, there's one other rapper in the group who sometimes sounds similar, but even then it's more of like a dialed down Hongjung, whereas Yechan is Hongjung dialed up to a
Yeah,
point where
I think
Hongjung can't reach.
right. I think the other member you're talking about is Sumin with the green hair. I think that's his name.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
He's very Taeyang coded.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to shout out a member called Junmin because in Do or Die in the beginning, I've heard Junmin sing on the other songs that I almost called them House of Tricky that xikers has done, and he appears to be able to sing. On Do or Die, however, he is deliberately cracking his voice to match the punk sound, and I think it's really funny and it's pretty impressive.
It's good. It's good.
Embrace it, please.
Please.
I think their fashion has also like the jump, because previous mini a lot more boring in terms of styling, a lot less individualistic, not only member to member but also this group in the ecosystem of K-pop. This one I was like, oh, a little more. I recognized a lot of clothing I liked. They rated the Kenzo archives, which is the correct choice for a group of this nature.
They're doing the maximalist look pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm
the corrupted Ivy League look.
I'm not I'm not mad at this.
No.
So
Do
now
I want a photo book? Undecided.
well, I'm pretty decided on that. But, maybe next comeback.
It could always happen. I mean, the thing is, too, you know me. I'll buy a photo book for $3 on a Depop.
That's true as well.
Might get a photo book. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, xikers, 2 minis already trending upward. Even though we really did not like the previous mini. Excited about that. Good for them.
Speaking of trends,
That segue is crazy.
the
What
Boyz
about
have
trends?
released formerly top group The Boyz. That's rude of me. They're not bad. I just haven't liked their singles in a while.
Formerly top group The Boyz.
Oh, I just haven't liked their singles in a while. It's not bad. But the Boyz released lip gloss off of the first part of their fantasy album, which I think is called like Christmas in August or something.
Christmas in Summer, I think.
Don't know why that's the case. The song was not very Christmassy.
No,
Not
kind
that
of the
that
opposite, in
matters,
fact. It's just a
but
summer song.
it's just a summer song. But whatever, that's fine. I don't understand releasing the album in 3 parts.
No, you explained this to me earlier and I didn't grasp it. I didn't think it was real.
Yeah, so from my understanding of it, it is one album, but it will have 3 parts and you will get them at different points in the year.
That's certainly what it seems to be. It's very confusing. The only thing that I could possibly liken it to is that it sounds like they're trying to do BTS Love Yourself, where there's the 3 parts and then it's the full version. But
Right, in like
BTS did not say they didn't do it quite that way where it was part one of three. It was like each new one was kind of exciting, like, oh, another one, and all in this theme. And then we have the full album. That's cool.
Yeah.
With new
Yeah.
songs, even. This is more part and parcel. Like, we wanted to release minis and a full album, but we don't have the budget, so we just did this.
I don't fully understand it. It almost feels like what Shiny did back
Oh,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, but that's Shiny.
You're not shiny. Nobody's shiny but shiny.
That's Shiny.
Shiny barely even shiny anymore.
So, it's just so strange to me. Here, let me get a full second full-length album.
I don't know. Which is funny because right now I think it says second full-length album and there's only 6 songs on it.
I don't know, but let's talk about the song. It's fine.
Ooh, all that just to say it's fine. It's pretty bad. It's another one of their big time rush slays right up there with the thrill ride. I don't think it's as much of a slay. It's
No,
fine.
because it's Big Time Rush is a sleigh. This gives Teen Beach Movie with Ross Lynch, which is not a sleigh. It's a last ditch
challenge
effort.
you on that.
I welcome it. I'm at Corona Deaths everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a little goofy, it's a little strange. It's like the classic, all of the boys are kind of competing for this one girl, some a little more convincingly than others.
One white girl.
It's a white woman in the Philippines.
It's like, the thing is, it doesn't matter that she's white, but it's just so jarring that they're obviously in a tropical or subtropical location. And if you've watched a lot of K-pop MVs, you're like, oh, this is probably the Philippines. It could potentially be Indonesia, but it's probably the Philippines. Either way, you do not expect to see a redheaded Caucasian woman with hazel eyes show up looking like a cherub.
But there she is. There she is, working at the beach.
Working at the beach. Indescriptly working at the beach. Like, she seems to work at a little stand, but then she kind of looks like she's working somewhere else. But then she also seems to not be working and is just there casually.
The scene that really killed me is when she's just sitting on the steps of this tower where the steps wind around it with the most rickety railing, and she's just placed on the stairs like a Barbie, still as can be.
It's so weird. Every part of this video is so weird because it's also, there's some scenes where very clearly they're all on set on the same place on the same day, and there's other ones where you can tell, like, there's no visual continuity, where one of the boys members, like, they're doing longing flirtatious looks back and forth with this girl, and she's not only does it appear to be a different day and a different time of day, she's also on a different part of the beach completely, and your brain just kind of reels and is like, wait, what?
Is she very far?
Well, it's like, it's beaches look the same all across them for the most part, so your brain doesn't immediately get it, but it can tell that something's wrong, and you have to rewind and go, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like I said, speaking of trends.
What's the trend?
Downward.
Wait, did you set that up on purpose, or was that out of the blue?
Fate. I didn't set shit up.
Oh, that spontaneity on the pod. I love it.
Moving on. We've got nothing to cover.
Invigorated.
We've got nothing to cover, so let's keep it going.
Mm-hmm. They look hot. That's about it. Go for them.
Oh, they look great. There is one specific scene in the music video where the camera pans across all, like, what? Are there 11 boys?
I think so.
And the skin, it's like a skincare ad, the way they have their skin highlighted.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Give it to them for that.
Give it to them. Give it to the makeup artist. Give it to the cinematographer.
That beautiful
well, actually,
beach
no, because
humidity.
those continuity shots, but you know.
Yeah. But that's my positive note that I'm ending it on.
Very fair.
Somi came back.
She did. It has been a while.
It's been a decent amount of time, but she came back. And in a way that I expected, actually, with Fast Forward.
Yeah.
It's just a gay little club song.
Yeah.
I I was initially kind of meh on it. It like I said, it's nothing though. Like we've heard it before, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, it's the kind of song where we've heard it before so many times because that beat just kind of hits, especially
The
after like the
ear
second or
worm.
third listen. It's in
Absolutely.
there.
It's
I
also a little
have
bit more charming than what we usually see from Miss Somi, at least in my
it's
opinion.
I would agree. I think I've haven't stopped singing different parts of this song since it came out. I think the verses are better than what her verses usually are.
I
Um
would agree with that, yeah.
I instead of her usual rapping, she did a little more of a spoken word,
Mm-hmm.
which was a good move.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though. I will open the door for discussion once more.
Okay.
I think the choreography is fun. However, her dancers eat her the fuck up every time.
That's a woman who hired gay people. That's
Yes.
unfortunate collateral of what is going to
It's
happen. Especially because,
uh-huh.
like, the thing is, I think if you're gonna go for proper, actual, genuine voguing, there is a chance for a woman to get up there. Despite the history of everything, it could happen. But instead, she's mostly doing like it's not whacking either, and it's not quite tutting. Like I don't
No.
know what it is. It's just some other thing, and so it's just she doesn't have enough quite to work with. But especially the backup dancer who's bald with the glasses
Yes,
destroyed everyone.
they do. They have a background in ballroom. I've been seeing their videos all over TikTok since
Well,
this
there you
song
go.
dropped. Which great choice, but also ooh sis. It's really pointing out that you don't really move,
Yeah.
especially in a heel.
Although the correct choice for multiple reasons, not only just the kind of song that it is and getting talented people behind you, but also if anyone is going to make Miss Somi famous, it is gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Going into more objectively correct choices is like, this is, you were mentioning earlier, there's a Katy Perry sample in this track. This is like a Katy Perry speed run. Like every this is like last Friday night, and also like a little bit of the one that got away, but also modern Katy Perry of like swish swish with like the more jokey
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere. Like it's just all of the Katy Perry smashed into one song. And listen, as a woman who's primarily Caucasian, I am a Katy Perry enjoyer, if nothing else. That woman can sing, she can dance, but she owns it, and she makes some really catchy electronic dance music.
Yup.
And that's what this song is. However, after I think the first chorus, Jeon Somi, she has her dance where like it's her being in this kind of nerdy little school uniform, and then it's her in the nerd like very 2010s Katy Perry, Taylor Swift. What's that Taylor Swift song?
Teardrops on my guitar?
No, with the boy
No.
next door, and she's writing the
Yeah.
messages.
Mm-hmm. And like showing like the paper in the window.
Yes. Fuck, what song is
What
that
is
song
that
so famous?
song?
Why did I remember it? How long would it take for us to not Google it? If we
Okay,
didn't
hold
Google it,
on.
how long do you think it would take to figure it
Because
out?
we have the entire music video clearly.
Mm-hmm.
How does it even go?
Isn't it the I wear short skirt or however it
She's
goes?
cheerleader and
And
okay.
I want the bleachers.
Ooh.
You belong with me. That's what it's called.
There it is. Got it. Lotus
Okay,
got it.
okay. They won't take away my white girl card just yet.
You want
The
it?
collector's worth the door. I mean, privilege, girl. I'll keep it. I'll keep that
Okay,
card any day of
okay.
the week.
Okay, okay.
The only downside is that it makes me hokey as fuck and not cool. And those are drawbacks I'm willing to take. But regardless, she's having that moment with that dance, and you're like, this dance is so silly. Like, silly is the only word for it. It's ridiculous. She looks like a nerd, but it's deliberate, and that's what's good about it. I feel like it's almost kind of making fun of like other current girl group choreos that look silly and not on purpose. Just a little, like, not exactly shade, but a little twinge of something there.
And like I will give it to her that when she's doing it like in her little nerdy costume, she really exaggerates a lot of the
She owns
movements.
it. Those limbs are swinging.
But then when she's in her cute little club get up one piece, she's precise as fuck with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the storytelling.
I like the story. I don't know exactly what the story is. It doesn't appear to be connected in the MV. Because then there's the section where she's in the club and she's like Miley Cyrus off of Miley Cyrus's latest album with her mullet, which is a haircut. She looks pretty good with that haircut, I will say.
Yeah,
not
I think
a lot of the girls
great.
can get a mullet, and she's always a good blonde too.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk about the part where she's wearing the black wig and she's doing karate? That's very the other Katy Perry song, "Part of Me," when she's in the military. I'm telling you, it's a Katy Perry speed run.
Oh,
it's incredible.
I think it's probably the best way to get the gays.
Yes, not only to get the gays, but again, Katy Perry is famous for a reason. So if you could just try to harness it, as much as people want to argue, Katy Perry is very famous, and it's for a reason. Beyond just the fact that she's like a good singer. What I was gonna say is earlier I was trying to think of what song this reminded me of, and the number one is definitely like "Last Friday Night" by Katy Perry plus "Swish Swish." But I have some unfortunate news. Right after that first chorus, she launches into a part where she's in like a black catsuit with the dancers in their crop suits, and she's having her spoken word moment.
Mm-hmm.
The spoken word moment is absolutely the challenge that they do in the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race seasons.
Are we? Oh, I think we may be going the same place.
Are we? What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, ooh, no, this was from Naomi's finale. Actually, so we're not thinking of the same thing.
You were gonna say what would that be?
It was
Legs?
just Legs.
Oh, but that's a good song. I was being kind of shady about it.
Well, that's I would prefer that. What is it?
No, not a specific one. Just on. I'm sorry to bring up RuPaul's Drag Race for anyone who doesn't like it, but listen. On RuPaul's Drag Race, there's a new trend that they started where in the first episode, instead of way in the last episode, the rosters for Drag Race have gotten so big that if a queen gets eliminated in the first episode, no one knows anything about her, right? So they do the double premiere. They split it up, so it's like seven queens in the first episode, 7 queens in the second, and they both have a rap challenge where they have to all perform together, and each one of them gets a verse. And the range of verses, it's very diverse. It's a very diverse range of verses. Like, I wouldn't say that what Miss Somi did was as bad as like Kimora Hall's, which was very bad, but iconically bad. But she's not up there with a Tamisha Iman. It's just like she's the girl who gets by either because no one gets eliminated in that episode or because she is number 3 on the bottom. She's right out of the bottom 2. She's not gonna lip sync, but it's clear she goes into it and she's like, I'm not gonna be good at rapping, so I'm just gonna do spoken word to kind of disguise the fact that I'm not very good. But she does the choreo perfectly, so she gets on just fine.
Okay. Yeah.
That's that part.
Yeah.
And then the rest is the Katy Perry speedrun.
And then it's back to Katy Perry. Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. The rest of the album I think is pretty bad.
Oh.
But those are B-sides, not the single.
So they don't count.
So they don't count towards the final goal.
About 12 people listen to them and listen to them seriously and listen to them and pay attention. They don't count.
They don't count.
Easy win. Good job, Somi.
Good job, Somi. I haven't liked a Somi song in quite some time.
Yeah, I've either disliked them or just been like, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Those are the only 2 options. This one was fun. Our STAYC girls were back.
No, they weren't. It wasn't going down.
If it's not going down, then who the fuck am I listening to?
I know, this was so jarring that we talked about it last month.
We talked about it last month.
But STAYC Girl's iconic DJ intro, there's a few iconic ones. Muzz It On That Beat Ho is one of them. Nicki Minaj going, is another one. And the third one is STAYC saying STAYC Girls. It's Going Down. Well, there's also Blackpink in here, I guess, if you want to keep it K-pop, but whatever. They're one behind STAYC Girls, It's Going Down. This song opens, and they go STAYC, and then it doesn't happen. And STAYC has done it for every title, and it's great.
That's it. We discussed this even on their Japanese release, where we said, oh, it would have been insane if they had done it in Japanese, but they kept it. STAYC Girls, It's Going Down.
But even if they did it in Japanese, as long as it was the same cadence, I think that works fine. But this, no, different.
They changed it up, and I'm all for groups changing and doing something different. But when you find perfection with the first try?
When you find perfection on your first try. And when it's something that's so easy to adapt in different sounds, like you can always say that no matter what the speed or the concept of the song is. You can always say STAYC Girls, It's Going Down.
Yeah.
Like maybe except for a genuine ballad, but we know nobody's releasing a ballad as a title, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, that's the thing that we have to mention right off the bat, because it was so, like, I did a double take. Like we said last time, I did a double take, and I thought I had accidentally put on one of the B-sides.
Just a pre-release B-side.
Strange.
How do you feel about the song?
Overall, I think it's fine. It's very, even without the music video, it's very Disney core, is it not? It sounds like a Disney Kingdom song.
You know what it sounds like almost exactly? The AKB song that they put in the Wreck-It Ralph credits. Sugar Rush?
I love that song. Yeah.
That song is amazing. And because immediately I went, oh, this sounds like Sugar Rush, but not as good. I went, oh, I hate it then. I hate Bubble. It's not as good as Sugar Rush.
But here's the thing. It's not as good as Sugar Rush, but it's also not exactly the same sound.
It's not.
The sound, it drifts slightly closer to When Can I See You Again by Owl City from the Wreck-It Ralph soundtrack.
Yup. They're wrecking it up in this fucking song.
They're wrecking that, Ralph. It's not, I don't think it's as good as either of those songs. However, it's diversified enough. It's in the middle of the diagram that it gets to be its own thing. And it's a fun song. It's a fun song.
It took me a while to come around, like I said. When I say my first thought was, oh, it's so similar to this, but not as good, therefore I can't like it. I genuinely mean that. I make snap decisions. And then I have to, like, give myself 2 days to be rational.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this song is cute. It's fun. I don't know though. I don't dislike it, but I don't know. There's something that makes me want, I don't know. Genuinely? This isn't a bit? I don't know.
I was so convinced you were doing a bit. I was just waiting for me to realize what the bit was.
It's a genuine I don't know, because STAYC is really good at this.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, hey, I don't know. Did I say that?
I mean, I think part of it is like STAYC's genre is very much teeny bopper, and they do it well, and they're great and catchy songs. However, they also gave us Poppy.
They've done so much better than this.
They've also given So Bad, which is like a little bit more of an intense sound. It's not that the song is bad or that the concept is bad, but I feel like STAYC has served enough in this concept that maybe we just want to see more of the Poppy, more of the So Bad. Just a little change in flavor, just a little bit, still keeping it true to STAYC.
And like, if to the defense of STAYC and their team, they did do something different with Beautiful Monster. And the fan response was not good.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's a great song. It's just not energetic enough for a title by K-pop standards.
So, like, I can also understand it. I don't dislike this. I don't like the mini album.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's only 3 songs on it, right? And then there's an instrument or an English version, and then a sped up Tink Tonk version.
Yeah, basically, they said the teens love Nightcore.
No, it's called sped up. It's called TikTok version. What do you mean Nightcore?
The teens love Nightcore. Let's give it to them.
Revealing yourself as a millennial yet again by using the word nightcore.
Can can I say
Mm.
I do have teenage sisters. My oldest sister is 10 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten shit for saying the Nightcore
Have you,
remix.
have you really? Oh, I was kidding. But people don't use the term anymore, but I didn't think that you would actually get got for it.
I got. I
I
did
love
get
that.
got.
Nightcore, dubstep, Legend of Zelda Song of Storms. YouTube. Develop it. It already exists. I know it does.
It's got to.
It has to. They exist at the same time. Yeah, I mean what do you not like about the mini?
Let me go back to it. Yeah, okay. There are 4 songs on it in total. Okay, you know what it is?
Hmm.
I think it's just kind of bland. Shockingly enough.
Yeah, I
It's
think that's
it's
fair.
it's a lot of songs that you can put into like your lo-fi study music playlist.
Yeah, which Stacy is good at.
They're good at it. Again, Stacey isn't doing anything they're not good at.
No.
I
However, they're sticking to what they're good at, which is releasing albums that have 3 songs on them.
3 songs and they're all pretty similar
I'm
and like
sick.
despite the fact that Stacey only puts out 3 songs at a time, they have a pretty consistent comeback schedule.
Hmm.
And so there's altogether a decent amount of songs for like a still pretty rookie girl group.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's it. I don't know.
I want another Poppy. That's all I want. I love that song.
We're literally never getting it.
They could. They could.
They could,
Will
but
they? I don't think so.
we're never getting it again.
I can believe. I can believe that they'll stick to the signature Stacy girly pop sound for Korean releases, aka also English releases now that they're doing like the English versions, and then for Japanese releases they'll stay cunty for some reason.
For Japanese releases, that's where we're going to get it.
Uh-huh. Also, I mean, the only last thing left to say is that Isa looks beautiful with this extremely bright red hair,
Yes.
which I didn't think anyone could do. Like, it looks kind of novel and cartoony, but she looks great with this hair.
It's so pretty. Because it's the exact shade of hair that you especially, have said looks absolutely horrible.
Well, it doesn't have the pink tint, which is the really important thing.
Okay.
But it's also such a loud hair color.
It
it's all,
is.
a color that's saturated and that loud is always difficult to pull off. And they did the first step one that they had to do, which was not have that hot pink tint on top of red. And then the rest is just Ice being beautiful, as far
Being
as I
beautiful.
can tell.
That's
I'm
it.
sure that the pigtails also help,
It also helps
like
that
kind of restraining the hair.
her lipstick and lip stain also match her hair pretty well. The 2 colors don't clash, which is very important considering the makeup for girl groups is generally pretty subdued except for the lip.
There's a science to it. Stacy Girl's color theory.
Look it up. Stacey Girl's Color Theory.
Look at my new TikTok series.
Ooh, that'd be a fucking hit.
The girls love color theory because they don't understand it,
Yes.
and it's like a nonsense buzzword.
Yep.
Uh,
Going on to the next comeback. Lucy had another comeback. Lucy the band. I love it. I do not think Lucy has released a single that I have not liked since their debut.
Music.
It's good music. I don't have much to say. A Lucy release is a hit. I do want to add that as much as Hayes, I don't know, did I even say the name of the song?
No, you didn't.
Oh boy.
It's Hayes off of their new mini album Fever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That Hayes is the single. The first song on the album is Hot. That song is so fucking good.
Excellent.
It's got a bunch of little little blip blops and zip zams in there. That's like the only way I can describe it. It's like
you sound like those My Little Pony boys that sell counterfeit shit, that sell snake oil. I think they're called the Flim Flam twins or something like that. Because like Flim Flam means nonsense, and they're full of shit.
It's got little blip flop zip zams like you're inside of a robot.
Okay.
And then Lucy is playing.
And then Lucy's playing. Yeah, I will say, if I have like any complaint about Lucy, it's probably that their singles always have, their titles, I guess I should say, their MV releases always have kind of the same sound, because they are often such a low key sounding band that like the one song on the album that has this sound has to be the title track, you know?
Yeah.
There's always got to be a moment where Sang-yeop, the lead singer and guitarist, is yowling and strumming, and then Yechen, the other Yechen, OG Yechen, the violinist and the leader, is doing whatever violinists do. And everything's just like, it has that wall of sound moment. I don't know what it's called. Guitarist strum, drummers drum. What does this violinist do?
Oh. I don't know.
I mean, you could just say play. But
that right, like
where's
that's
the fun
just,
in that?
They play. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
they have
know.
a bow that goes across strings.
Here, what do?
Why don't you just say play?
I mean, because I just. Ooh, how? Okay, hold on. How would I ask Google this question? What is the action?
Verb? Violinist verb?
Yeah, violinist verb.
I just heard a little sigh come in.
Because you do violinist verb, and it's just violinist is a noun.
Ooh. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, what is it called when you play a violin?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, bowing. That is it. It's bowing.
Oh, it is actually called bowing. Like the airplane.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Don't come for me.
The speed? Notice I wasn't going to say anything. You're safe.
I thought I heard you inhale.
Lotus, I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, that's Lucy. It's good music. That's it.
It's good music. They have a very good like a bittersweet, hopeful, like people often talk about nostalgia in positive terms, but one of the important factors of nostalgia is actually feeling sad. You know what I mean? And their music is always very hopeful, but it has that kind of nostalgic sense to it where you kind of feel sad. But it's good. Yeah. It's a good sad. It's like, yeah, I will try harder because of my past or like whatever.
That's the thing. It's like, hey, I may be struggling, but like, I'm gonna come out of this okay.
I may be struggling, and we're all struggling, but you know what? I think we'll be okay. That's the Lucy motif. That's the Lucy production.
Yes, and I'd say that is always going to be Lucy.
I think so. That's what happens when you have a band that is genuinely really self-producing. And
that's actually a band.
That's actually a band, and appears to have relatively little oversight in that sense.
Yep.
Easy.
We've got a fresh, hot new debut this month. Did you know that, Lotus?
An artist who's never done anything before. This is her debut.
This is her debut.
Speaking.
So Jihyo, technically the leader of TWICE, decided
technically. I guess not in this MV.
And technically she's the leader, but today she's a brand new solo artist.
Yes, okay, got you.
Released her debut mini album Zone with the title track Killing Me Good. To start, we have to talk about the way the album looks, no?
Oh, that it says nose?
We have to. It just looks like it says nose. It's so incomprehensible as Zone.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
I get what they were trying to do, but there needed to be some more like connecty lines or something to draw the eye in a particular direction so that you read it as zone and not nose.
Yes, it's I do I love the lack of thought with there and how like these letters they said, oh, these letters look really similar too. That's great, but they didn't consider.
Hey, they said someone said it'll look really cool in Korean, and if the Americans don't get it, it don't matter. And yeah, fair.
Yeah, fair.
It's just funny to
Fair.
point out.
But Killing Me Good was the single. It's a groovy little song. I think it works very
Mm-hmm.
well for her voice.
Yes.
Because while I am Jihyo's number one fan,
Mm-hmm.
her voice has a strange quality sometimes that I can't quite describe. I don't have the words for how she sings
Mm-hmm.
at this moment, but like it's strange and it's why she often stands out in a Twice song.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we often talk about body in the
There's so
voice.
much goddamn
She
body in her
she has
voice.
so much goddamn body, and that's a good thing. But K-pop does not value body in the voice. It doesn't really want you to like. It wants you to be able to sing high and like kind of clear. It doesn't expect or desire the amount of body. That's why when Dream, the Japanese 17 song came out, we were like, oh my god, Joshua can sing. He has like body in his voice for once. They're not just making him hit high notes. And this gave her the most body possible.
It's nothing but body.
It embraced the body.
That's it. And like the whole album is like that. I think every song on the album kind of sounds the same. So the album flows really well, but I think sort of lacks impact because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no defining moment outside of the single. I
Which is is solo debut syndrome, that's for sure.
like it's expected. I didn't think that I would love this album.
Mhm.
I thought I would simply like it, and that's the case. I do. If I could have just one moment to be both a lesbian and a stan, if that's okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I do like that a lot of the outfits she wears have been quote unquote heavy quote unquote tomboy fashion for this album.
Okay, okay, yeah.
It suits her so well, looks good,
Mhm.
and that's it. It's a Korean woman wearing fake Tims. There's only so much I could really say without fully digging myself into a hole.
When you said, "Can I be a lesbian?" I thought you were going to complain about the man.
Well, hey, can I be a lesbian stan for a second and act like I didn't see that music video with that bald head constantly in the camera?
The bald head.
There was a man in the video.
And it's so strange to have him be bald. I mean, here's the thing. I assume he's bald because more Korean men had to go back to the military because COVID is quote unquote over. And because of the age of Jihyo stands, they said that, okay, let's get a bald guy in here.
And so,
That's
like,
my best guess.
but also, like, bald is coming back as, like, the sort of sexy alternative look.
That is kind of true, but nothing about the video's alternative. Like, I think if you're marketing to a Twice/Jihyo fan, you're just marketing to like an average guy. They're the nation's girl group, you know.
Yeah.
You want to pick the most generic looking guy possible.
No, I guess they said, it's Jihyo's solo. They wanted a more sophisticated audience suddenly.
The baldies.
The Baldies. Oh my god. Whenever Twice does have a man in a video, you never see his face.
No, that's why when we watched what is it, Marshmallow by Misumo, we were like, huh?
Like you never you never see a man's face. And so that's kind of the same for this. And again, it is nothing but the back of that man's head.
I will say they did a good job picking a bald guy who doesn't have a lumpy head. Because most people's heads are lumpy, you know?
Yeah, you never know what you're going to have.
It's not revealed until you're bald.
Mm-hmm.
So they somehow found a guy with a really smooth head.
I guess that's what we could say.
I have some more things to say. I'll say some more things. It's so weird. She has her little girl gun in this video, like her little group of friends that are like kikiing about her cute text with her and her man, her crush. It's just weird because she's so famous for being in Twice. I was like, who are these women?
They really wanted this to be a solo.
It just stands out as being so bizarre because, is this a Western view of things? I don't know, but the idea of having them cameo is such a casual, like, obvious thing, especially with the way that you hear groups talk about solos or solo promotions. You have to imagine several members of Twice were probably behind the camera watching just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels weird that it was just like these random women.
But like, I'm trying to think of like group solos. The only time I can think of, and I could be wrong, of course. Mm-hmm. The only time I can think of a soloist having their members in the video was the 8.
I think so too. Like it might just be that whatever it is not very recent. We just can't remember. Right. But it's definitely an uncommon thing. But it just seems like such a no-brainer of like a thing to do.
It seems like a no-brainer.
For the social media moment, for the everything.
Right, but if we're thinking about like an artist wanting to actually establish themselves as someone who can be a soloist and actually promote and sell by themselves, don't put a single other member in that.
Didn't she just re-sign her contract? Who cares?
Yeah, but like the solo shit, apparently in an interview she said that the solo happened before the re-signing.
Oh, okay. I guess that will work then.
Mm-hmm. But I do hear you because I said, "Who are they?"
Who are these? Who are these people?
Who are these people that aren't Twice in your video?
Right. Yeah, I was expecting to see at least one Twice member, at least hidden somewhere or something, but no, not at all. Yeah. I mean, it's a good song. Jihyo sounds good. She looks beautiful as per usual.
It's
disgusting. Consistency.
Yup.
I will say I don't like when they're trying to do like the vintage look of the camera. They're trying to make her look like a mom. Yeah, I don't know about this, you guys.
Jihyo goes into mom real easy.
She goes into mom real easy, but it's like they're trying to make her look a little more mom in that section, but it doesn't quite work. She's not in mom mode, but they try to catch her off guard in mom mode. It's so bizarre. Also, I have to point this out. Okay. Wait, you go first. No, you go first.
Towards the end of the video, I think it's the end of the video, where she's dancing outside in the rain in the dress with a sweater dress with a pair of what looks to be brown suede shoes. Remember I said dancing in the rain.
Don't get suede wet, people.
It's one of the ugliest things they could have possibly done.
It's not as ugly. I forgot to mention this earlier. I'm so sorry. It's not as ugly as in Homeboy by XIKers when they run into the ocean with jeans and shoes on.
You don't need a water moment.
And if you do, it doesn't have to be spontaneous like that.
I understand that we are discussing K-pop. Yeah. And we are discussing young groups. Don't have a water moment where we are just jumping in fully clothed. Because
please don't do it.
Every member has to be fully clothed, obviously. Stay out of the water. But
you can be in a bathing suit if you really want.
You sure can. The Boyz just did it.
Yes, that's true.
But it's like when you're having fun. But even then,
another thing I forgot to mention. Every scene in Lip Gloss where they're on the beach, no umbrellas, no towels. They just sit in their clothing on the sand.
People do that.
I refuse to believe it. Because where I live, the sand is so hot, you can't sit on it like that.
People do it.
People will do anything if you let them, I guess.
And that's why we have fully clothed people jumping into pools. But it's also like, that's the height of fun. When you're like, I'm having so much fun, like, let's jump in the pool.
That's youth.
That's youth.
That's youth.
You just don't get it. You're not young enough.
It's the only excuse is if you went to a theme park, you went to the water side of the theme park, didn't think you were going to go there that day. That's pretty much it. That's a time where it could happen in real life and be reasonable.
And even then, what do you mean you went to the theme park and you didn't plan to get in the water?
Well, I didn't know there was a water park part.
Okay.
It was for school.
Okay, okay. So,
I didn't get in. This is just hypothetical.
That's it.
Like, this is a real thing that happened. I went to Six Flags. They had just opened the water park part. This was with school. I didn't know about that. And I was like, how exciting.
But you didn't. You didn't get in,
but people did, and I could say, you know what? They have a change of clothes. That's actually pretty fair.
Okay. We got on a tangent. You were going to say something about Jihyo.
Oh yeah. Practically my introduction to Twice, in the sense of this was the first time that I was like, oh yeah, Twice, I like this song, I want to listen to them, was with I Can't Stop Me. I need to point out, as a supporter of women's rights, get Jihyo's toes off this fucking screen.
No, do you know how many times her feet have been on?
They don't need to be there.
It's
I wear socks at home. She can wear socks at home.
Hey, personally, I've always got a sock on, a slipper even.
We are both anemic, so
I mean, at this moment in time, my fingers are so cold, it's a little startling.
But the point is, wearing socks inside is normal. You don't have to be like, oh, in this scene, this is happening. And she certainly doesn't have to push those soles into the camera. I think Somi was barefoot. Oh, yeah, she was karateing. She had her toes out, too. But they were farther away. It felt more normal.
Me, it's to the point where I know that me and Azalea have had multiple conversations about how destigmatized toes and feet seem to be in Korea. Just culturally, because why do we see so much feet?
We do see a lot of feet, but a lot of the time it feels inconsequential.
Yes, but
like
still.
I remember there was what was that? Was it Hengare? I think maybe by 17, where like there's a photo book where they're on the beach, and there's just some videos where their toes are out because they're on the beach, and a lot of American carrots got really weird about it, and it's like, no, that's just what they're wearing. But in this case, this feels a lot more deliberate. Those toes don't need to be all the way up there.
I don't know, because again, and I Can't Stop Me, it was, the shot started at a gel manicured toe.
Yes. The toes were at the forefront of the camera. But then,
okay, when we think about V and older BTS stuff, we saw a lot of V's feet. Toes, a lot of tingers. Soles,
Black Swan,
Black Swan, all of it. The whole foot. What's going on?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I'll go on the record and say that I don't like it.
I don't either. People are free to enjoy toes. You can enjoy them if you want. I don't care. But when you make us look at the toes in the MV getting real close, I think,
Because, like, that's not my business what your feet look like.
Exactly. That's not my business. Put those dogs away.
Because that's it. No matter how many times you get your feet done, at the end of the day, those are dogs. Put them away.
Those are not service dogs. They do not do anything for your health. Put them away.
Put them away?
Let's move on.
17 had a comeback. They released Japan Best Album, Always Yours.
Ima.
In that exact tone.
Ima.
But then
they've always got Jeon. I don't know any Japanese, so I can't say anything, but it's da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da.
Like, when it comes to Japanese promotions,
money.
They say, hey, Japan makes us money. Jeon, you busy?
Yeah, Japan makes us money, and you know who makes us money in Japan? Jeon, get over here. I don't care if you're still in your sling.
My God. When it comes, like, I even saw, like, they were doing, like, the different variety shows in Japan. They even had Jeon doing, like, the Say the Name 17 intros in Japanese.
Wow. Good for him.
Not bad.
Not bad for a boy.
Not bad for a boy. But 17 released Ima, in parentheses, even if the world ends tomorrow.
No, not in parentheses. In hyphens.
Oh, that's right. That's where
hyphens win. They stole them from the Hive label's offices.
I had to simplify it for my notes because it was getting a little crazy looking. But this album, Always Yours, is a compilation album. It has 2 new songs, Ima Even If the World Ends Tomorrow and Sara Sara. And then it has every Japanese release, and then it has a disc 2 with all of their Japanese versions of Korean songs. This
Yeah, like
is
their big singles.
I'm waiting for Twice to do this.
Oh my god, yes. I'm so excited because, you know, I am, at this point, among our friend groups, notoriously just a lover of 17's Japanese singles. Fallen Flower is probably my favorite K-pop song, period. And getting Japanese albums, especially because Japanese albums are typically a single album, so it's the one new song and then like 3 Japanese versions of existing songs. They are so difficult to get in the US, and when you do, they're usually like $30 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
And it's a CD case with a booklet in it, like very traditional CD. It's not a K-pop album.
Yes, and like there's a photo card, and you'll have pre-order benefits and whatever, but not only do I not care about those things, that's still not worth the price for me.
Nope.
So finally, I have a way where I can legally own, you don't own things on YouTube, you don't own things on Spotify, and you don't own things on Amazon Music either, even if you purchase them, because they can take them away at any moment. I will be happy in a month when these arrive in the United States at Target.com
Yup.
to have all of the Japanese songs that I enjoy.
Finally. Talking about this song, let's start. There are 2 songs. I think we can discuss them both. Why not? But starting with Ima, what is up with 17 and the Apocalypse?
They've been on a kick ever since Darling, right? Like, I don't remember as much before that, but it's every time now.
They're really deep in it. Darling, Hot, this, what else? Is that it? Maybe. But
I think so, but it's just because they're all in a row.
It's all in a row. What's going on?
They're feeling some type of way. There's the post-COVID apocalypse boom.
Post-COVID, we're in hell.
Yeah, exactly.
17's got it down.
Now that we're not as actively in real life hell of real life COVID, we can explore apocalypses again. Like, remember when that happened? Oh my god.
Remember when shit was so bad? Oh, but I do love this song. Like, let's be honest, it's a 3-minute song, but it has 1 verse.
Yeah.
And that is the opening of the song. It's not really, there's not a lot going on, but I love it. That first chorus specifically, with Dino and Joshua singing on it. Wanu's in there too. But Dino and Joshua are both members that have very specific parts that they get in songs, and they don't get the most play, I think, overall, even though 17 songs tend to be pretty evenly split song by song. It's like the quality of the part.
Right. Dino not uncommonly will have like a little killing part. Shua will not uncommonly have an opening killing part, like before the song really starts kicking up and getting loud, because he has a softer, like quieter voice, so it just makes sense that way. But yeah, they have their little moment.
I like their little chorus moment. I like the song a lot. This would be a really good graduation song.
Oh yeah, it's definitely got the drama of it.
Sonically and like even lyrically, I feel like a song that's about like things ending, great for graduation. I don't know if the Korean or rather the Japanese schools have thought about this, but it's something to consider.
It's something to consider. In incoming Japanese graduates, or outgoing, I suppose.
Maybe do a little petition.
Dude, start a petition. Yeah, I'm not super big on Ima just because I think it is a little bit too repetitive. And to me, the sound of the song is a lot more like we are doing a pop rock Japanese quote unquote anime intro kind of sounding song.
Oh,
I just think they've done much better versions of that before.
I agree.
There's Run to You on the director's cut of Teenage, and then there's my favorite Together off of Hegare, one of their best songs, period. So I just think it's a weaker release than either of those, but I think it's nice. I think I prefer Sara Sara to it.
I definitely do. Like we mentioned this before, both like when we were talking about Jihyo, and DK, same reason. He sings a little bit deeper in this with like a little more nasally than what they usually have him do. In 17 songs. It's similar to how he sings in Fallen Flower, which is why he sounds so good on that song. He does it again in Sada Sada, and it's nice.
Yeah, they're letting him off of a particular leash onto another one, but it's one we don't see him on a
It's
lot.
one we don't see
and
often.
that is more of the belting style of singing, which is just something I value more, because who can do that?
Exactly. For DK, it's belting, and like for Seungkwan, it's when he goes just abnormally high. It's when you don't hear it often, it just makes it nicer when you do.
Oh yes, but it's also just my preference regardless. So I'm like, yeah,
it's just good.
It's just good.
Oh man, that's about it for that one, huh?
Yeah, I think so. There's not much to talk about in terms of the styling or anything, really. They look pretty good. Someone's on fire in that music video. I don't think it's a 17 member, but I was like shocked because, apocalypse scenes, we see them a lot. We see zombie stuff. But I was like, oh my God, that person's actually on fire.
Yeah, it's just someone like everybody's clearly evacuating, but like not orderly. It's just people like things are on fire. People are running and someone just running down that street on fire.
It's funny because like people are on fire. The members of 17, they're like faux hurt. They're freaking out. They're waiting in the shelter. All this stuff's going on, and then there's Jeon, and he's sitting in a car, and there's obviously like a 5-car pileup behind him, and he's just drumming his fingers on the wheel,
waiting for that traffic to clear up.
He's like, oh gosh, the radios didn't say anything about this.
Yeah,
so funny.
Oh, 17, even when they have something to say, always ends up being just a little goofy somehow. Well, and that was that moment.
Certain members are goofier than others generally. Not only their like depictions on the little shows and stuff, but seemingly how they are in real life. And Jeon, he'll be serious if you need him to be. But if you don't explicitly say, it would seem, Jeon, we need you to be serious. It's not going to happen. No. But they also did him dirty by making that the set. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So that's enough of that.
If you recall, I said opinionated, but we always throw in straight facts at the top of the episode. Well, it's coming back.
Do a wrap around, full circle.
Full circle. NCT finally had their full member comeback, which I have been waiting for since last year. Golden Age. NCT 2023. Was last year beautiful? That was 2021. They didn't have a full comeback last year.
Oh.
It was dire.
Imagine being starving as an NCT fan. What's even the point?
Hello? Because every group had a comeback, obviously. But where is the mess of the full group comeback? Well, they did it this year in August instead of at the end of the year. And Baggy Jeans is the title, although let me like break it all down.
No, it's
let me break it all down. First. Okay. So how the NCT albums work is you have the set groups, Wavy, 127, and Dream, all have their songs. And then you have the full group song. And then you have the NCTU songs, which are not fixed groups. They change every song. This album has only NCTU songs and then the group song. I know that like the group song is the single, but Baggy Jeans is the other promoted single.
Right, it's just that the album's called Golden Age. So it's Baggy Jeans is not the title.
It's the title.
No, it's not.
They're not performing that fucking Golden Age song.
It's the title.
It's the title of the album.
Baggy Jeans is a promotional single.
They made Golden Age the title of the album, the promotional single. Yeah. I almost got confused and invalidated my point.
What you're saying is more confusing.
Mm-mm. You just
No, it's not.
You just listen to me. The group song is not the title. It's just the secondary single. Baggy Jeans is the title. Okay.
That's not how the word title track works.
It's NCT. It doesn't matter. That's how it's going.
You're so full of shit.
Baggy Jeans is... I don't know if this is a controversial take, but I think Baggy Jeans is a bit of a boring NCT song.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of like, oh, NCT is doing it again. Like, they're really pushing the limits to what fans will accept. And I think when you listen to the lyrics and watch the video, you can, like, yeah, maybe because the lyrics are nonsense, but that's often the case. And the music video is absolutely camp with the disembodied jeans dancing.
They were filming their AI moment in this one.
But I think the song overall, it's simple. It's something that we've heard before. It's not given that moment.
Yeah, the sound is just kind of whatever. In my opinion, it is just a relatively average NCT song.
Yeah.
A little more in the realm of aping black culture than even is typical for NCT, who do it frequently. But even like the part where they're all trying to look like they're in a thuggy little cipher is just like so funny.
It's so fucking. I also love that SM often gives NCT this image, and they never really pull it off in a way that's convincing.
No, they don't. The thing is, it's so easy to pull off NCT as being like cool and sexy, but being thugs, being tough is not.
It's not going to work.
Especially because like even when they do go for like more specifically trying to emulate like specific rappers' styles, they end up looking more like 6ix9ine-ish. And here's the thing, we don't like 6ix9ine on the pod, but he does have a very specific aesthetic about him that you could rework and make look cool. And I think there's times where NCT has gotten close to flirting with the idea, especially with Taeyong and especially with Mark. And then that's when they switch it up all of a sudden.
Yeah, because
like, Taeyong has cotton candy hair in this video, and they're trying to make him look like fucking 2 Chainz.
Like, I don't think they realize what direction they should be going in.
No, they're like, these are rappers. Let's put all these rapper looks together, and also, modern fashion, modern Korean streetwear, and they just choose whoever.
Yeah.
Like, I think... Oh, I'm bad with NCT members. Who's the one with the black mullet right now?
Jeon. The singer?
Yes. How do I put this? In this video, he looks like a rent boy. And it seems pretty deliberate. Or at least that they're emulating a particular style, which doesn't fit with the rest of the video. Especially because, like, if they're not trying to make him look like a rent boy, they're trying to make him look more cowboyish, and cowboys don't fucking wear baggy jeans. But, like, did they give him a scarf to make him look like a blood? Like, what's happening?
What the problem, I think, is that Jeon is a singer. I think, like, general, like, attitude, personality-wise, in terms of his role in NCT is usually pretty... I mean, he's pretty, he has a soft look. Just in general, like, his features are really soft and pretty, and he's a singer. When you try to make it look like he fits in with Taeyong, it's not going to work very well.
I think there's a way you can do it if you're not trying to make everybody look like this third thing. You know?
It does. It's
not conducive to their survival. I mean, they're going to survive no matter what. They're SM, it's NCT, but the look is just a total disaster for me. Which, the song is about a look. It's about baggy jeans. So
it's about baggy jeans.
And another thing, I'm very annoyed. There's multiple times during important chorus choreography where people do not have jeans on. They have sweatpants on.
Yeah. They're not only wearing jeans.
The song is baggy jeans. I get that they're still baggy, even then, up for debate, they're not really that baggy. It's just not how that works.
There's not a lot of jeans in the video.
Put the jeans on.
There's not a lot of jeans.
There's cargo pants too, which are made of canvas. They can be made of jeans, but these ones aren't.
They sure aren't.
I get very upset as the fashion reviewer on the podcast. It's very upsetting.
Mm-hmm. As the citizen on the podcast, I'm also upset just with the album.
Oh, with the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I like the fixed groups in NCT. And so having an album where it's nothing but random units and concept is fun because you get to like hear different members on songs that they, you know, like you don't usually hear member A and member B on a song together because one's in Wavy and one's in Dream.
Right, that's fun.
Conceptually, that sounds fun. Oh boy. Not having the units and not knowing which rapper would jump scare me at what point.
Well, you know it's always going to be Mark.
It's not. I think Mark is pretty good at what he does in NCT. It's
no,
Johnny.
But I mean...
No, listen, a Mark part never jump scares me.
Oh, okay. See, I consider a rap part a jump scare. Just it's a K-pop song. It's a jump scare.
No, because it's a K-pop song, yes, but it's an NCT song.
I guess that's true. I more meant that if there's a song by an artist called NCT, I just assume Mark is on it. So like it can't be a jump scare, even if you were jump scared by him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. No, you know what? Me and Mark were good. But just Johnny's not good.
No.
And so hearing a song and being like, oh, this is okay. I'm gonna get into the song. I like the way it sounds. And then Johnny comes in and it's just, why the fuck did this happen?
Who let this happen?
Who let this happen? Multiple songs have a chance of being really good, but then they lose me at some point. I could get behind a few, but just like Baggy Jeans, I think NCT could do so much more. And like
tough.
The NCT group albums are always like a big deal, and this just doesn't feel like that. This just feels like a random release.
Yeah, especially because it's in August.
It's in August.
The end of August. Well, towards the end of August.
It's in August. Dream had a comeback last month. 127 is having a comeback next month. This makes no sense.
It just seems like a regular random release, or like an NCTU release is technically what it is, really.
Yeah. Oof. That's how I feel. That wraps up my thoughts on August, period.
Yeah, oof.
Oof.
It's we said it I think while we were preparing. It's been a mid-month. The best songs I feel fine about. I'm not obsessed with them, but I think these are some nice releases. And that's like the peak of my enjoyment this month, really. Yeah.
There were like a couple of releases that we didn't discuss that I do like, honestly, more than the ones we discussed. But even then, I don't think there would have been much to say about it other than I really like the song and I listen to it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. It's good for like our big end of the year roundup. But for like a month, like it's just not fun.
Yeah. And that's it. That was August, folks. Sorry.
That was August.
But you can't blame us. We're reporting the news. We didn't make it.
We don't control K-pop. Not yet.
If we did, we'd have Poppy 2 by now.
It would have been happened.
It would have been a whole album. If I was in charge.
If I was in charge, you would have gotten a Poppy album.
If I was in charge, vote for me, President 2024. STAYC full album, Poppy number 2.
Thank you guys for being with us regardless. We'll see what September holds. I know the start of it is going to be a little strange.
It sure is.
So we'll see what happens with the rest. If September sucks, 17 come back in October. Maybe there's something there.
It could be. I think they made some good songs once or twice.
If there's nothing there, December we do our top 25.
If nothing else, our top 25 will be in December, and you can count on that.
You can count on that.
It could come out in January, but it will happen within 31 days of December.
So that's August from us over here at Chaos. If you want to find me anywhere, Danny, I am mostly at this point on YouTube, Twitch, and co-host at Keranades on all 3 sites. That's what they're called. And Lotus?
Yeah, I'm at Lotus Loves Lotus on primarily at this point the same Twitch, YouTube, and co-host. On co-host, you can also find me just at Lotus if you want to see my regular thoughts. Lotus Loves Lotus is like my quote-unquote professional account over there, but that's where you can find us, yeah.
And that's it. Let's hope for a better month in September.
Let's all manifest for September. I mean, the episode will come out in October, but some good releases, please, in the last few months of the year. It'd be nice to finish at least a little strong.
A little strong.
A strange year.
A strange year. Last year, terrifying, because we said there's no music. This year, just strange.
Just strange. That's 2023 for you. But thanks for listening, folks.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in a month. Bye-bye.
Bye.